Thank you for choosing Minority Money Mondays. Today, instead of going over two assets to add within our portfolio, we will recommend to our members to go back over our previous Monday segments and look over a couple of assets that maybe have had a drop over the past few weeks or months and kind of pick up a few of those assets or add on to their portfolio if they already have these assets. Speaking on things today that will actually help within your investing and key things to look out for and key things to keep in mind when investing. The first thing, of course, over anything is never invest more than you have to lose. Always put in enough and keep enough on the side just in case that investment goes down or goes up. You never know anything in between. But if you keep it a little bit on the side, you can always go in and gain back on top of the gains at that point. But never put in more than you have. Speaking on diversification, you want to make sure you diversify across your portfolio and never put too much into one asset. Always leave yourself with options. Never go all in on one thing. Using diversification, if you have an asset that goes down maybe 15%, 10%, and you have an asset that maybe still went up another 30%, 40%, you can always take a little bit off that top and go into your asset that kind of went down a few percentage and gain back on the gains on the back end. Also, one thing you want to make sure you do is always do your research for yourself on any asset that you decide to invest in, whether stocks or crypto. Make sure you know kind of things that are going on behind these businesses or projects, and make sure you're not sitting there listening to people on social media who may boost a certain asset and they're just talking about it to get it pumping, but it has no true fundamentals behind it. Uh, you want to kind of always be looking at fundamentally, how high has this asset already climbed from its lowest peak? And, what's the true potential of this asset reaching this number that they're speaking of online? How many people would have to own how much? You can do the math on it when you actually do your research into these assets and see how many of the total asset is out there and kind of put a number, around how many would have to be bought by people for this asset to reach that price. One thing you want to also look at is knowing when to take profit. If you have an asset that's jumped up 30% or better, or even when you're looking at 25% or better within the stock market, if you've had an asset that's done that good, unless you're looking at holding it long term and there's, a strategy behind you holding that asset, until a certain date or until a certain year, you got to know when to take profit off the top of that asset and maybe go ahead and buy another asset that you're looking at that hasn't been performing as well over the time period. When investing, you want to also pay attention to news and things going on around you, such as anything that's going on in the global economy, period, or even going on within the US economy, which these things end up having impact on investments and investment markets and things of that nature. Directed more towards the crypto markets. We did a video on April 19th that I recommend that everybody, all of our members, go actually take a look at, where we spoke on stable coins and their usage. When you look at the percentage loss across the markets over the past few weeks, that's why we went ahead and did that video to kind of prepare a few of our members to see when you start seeing the markets go down, it's nothing wrong with taking a little bit of your profit or even taking a percentage of your portfolio and going within these stable coins, which will stay fluctuating around that US dollar value. So you never have to worry about losing a huge percentage in that if the market drops any lower. Also, over the next month or so, we want to be keeping a close eye within the crypto markets on what is called Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin, for the most of the crypto market, the time that has been established, has always held a high percentage of dominance over any other crypto asset and things of that nature. Over the next month or so, we may see that start to change where Bitcoin kind of loses a little bit of its dominance in the total market overall. And you see other cryptos start to take a little bit of that dominance, which will signify that a lot of these other cryptos will see a kind of a run up uh, to catch up with where Bitcoin's price value jumped over the January to March period there. Our goal, again, by doing these segments is to help people get started investing and learn how to start investing. Any asset that we do give through this organization has been vetted, has been looked over, has been researched, has been looked at the fundamentals from the top to the bottom. And any asset that we do discuss and give out to our members are assets in where our members can make profit. And we will never give an asset in which our members are not able to make profit. Even looking at our cryptocurrency pick last week, uh, if that was a cryptocurrency that people decided to pick, that was our first crypto that we ever discussed through the organization, which I would hope that everybody would have had it in their portfolio since about 7 cents. So even with the dip, you would have still been in profit and been able to take a little bit of that profit and throw it on top of your asset, which is our goal when we're looking at actually investing in these markets and trying to make a little bit of extra profit as a side source. Again, we push for everyone to go back and actually view a few of our videos, uh, starting out from our first Monday segment. I don't believe our Monday segments are anything but about 5 to 6 minutes long, very quick watches, great assets, and we highly recommend taking a look at these assets for the next month or so to see which ones have potential over the next month to see even more gains, because a lot of these assets still have not reached our prediction prices and things of that nature that in which we're still looking for.